I think the apparel industry has to have a reality check. We are the second most polluting industry in the world. We are responsible for around 10% of the global carbon emissions right now. And if we don't do something about it, then we can't complain about it later as well. So it is our responsibility to look at our carbon footprint, the waste that we generate, and what we can be doing better about it going forward. For us as business, I think it's more of a global perspective on climate change. We've seen the EU pass legislature that's coming into play in the next few years. We've seen the US not far behind as well. So we as manufacturers need to be forecasting where legislature is headed and work towards being ready for when that legislature comes in, or else we'll have to, well, basically not be ready for it. And that means we'll be left behind compared to our competition. So at Star, what we are is an end-to-end apparel solutions provider. Now, what I mean by that is we're more than just a manufacturer. We are equipped to handle a brand sourcing need all the way from design to sourcing to manufacturing and delivery as well. And that's what makes us different to your traditional apparel manufacturer. Prior to Coma's acquisition of Star, we used to see sustainability purely as a CSR arm that kind of did a little bit of work on the side. But then in 2017, we worked on this building that we're in right now. That is our innovation center. This building was our aha moment that led to us really investing in sustainability. It's a passive house, which means it runs at 30% the energy cost of a building its size. And in addition to that, it was also Sri Lanka's first building to be certified as LEED Platinum under LEED version 4. What we are most proud of is going beyond being an organization that focused on checkboxes and certifications and focusing on projects that make an impact. Let's start with obviously the passive house, which I explained a little earlier on. But in addition to that, what we've done is we've set ourselves clear targets that we want to achieve by 2030. One of those is focused on energy, one on water, and one on biodiversity restoration. So what we've done in that space, we've invested in about 4.9 megawatts of solar rooftop energy. We recycle about 52 million liters of water annually right now. And we've also invested in a flagship project in Arnavilundava, which is a carbon restoration project for Sri Lanka, which involves restoring a mangrove plantation not too far from here. In addition to that, what we've done is we are investing in processes that are also using less synthetic options and focusing on natural options. One of those is where we partnered with Slintech and recently completed the creation of a natural dye that uses palm oil waste and transforms that into a natural dye that can be used through the apparel process as well. The next thing that we want to do is to inset our scope 1 and 2 emissions, which we hope to do by 2030. In addition to that, we also want to increase transparency across our supply chain. Our project in West Africa and Togo is one of these, where we hope to use African cotton all the way through to making apparel made in Africa as well. We as Sri Lankans have seen the impacts of the climate crisis firsthand in the last few years. Rising water levels, increased flooding, as well as increased heat waves in the country as well have shown us that we need to do something about it or suffer the consequences of it in the coming years. Why there's been limited progress in this space is industries still tend to view sustainability as a CSR arm. It's time to refocus that narrative, I'd say, and look at sustainability as an operational need as opposed to purely an arm that exists outside of operations. President Obama put it well when he said we are the first generation to see the effects of climate change, but we're also the last generation that can do something about it. So if we don't start acting now, it'll be too late for anyone to act on it. And that is why it's our responsibility to start looking at sustainability as a real problem that needs to be solved.